ornament, the beard marker, so we get things moving.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. So then we hit that September 20th deadline.
Good. Wonderful.
Let's see who we have here and who we don't have. We have Marcia, Donna, Johanny. We have Melissa. And we have, do we have Strat?
You got me.
Strat's here. I think we have everybody. We're starting on time, right?
I hope.
Yep.
A minute late.
No, I started speaking at 7 o'clock, Linda. Here we go. All right, we're going to get started if there's no objections at this time. Welcome everyone to the regular meeting of Reading City Council, Monday, June 14th, 2021. We're going to open this evening's meeting with the invocation by Pastor Tony Perez from Bethany Church. And we will then afterwards stand up and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. So welcome, Pastor Perez.
Thank you. Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for this city. We thank you that you have placed people in positions to make changes and to move the city forward. We thank you for City Council. We thank you for our mayor. We pray for our police department, especially our chief and the loss of his nephew last week. Pray that you would guide each decision that is made, that it would benefit truly the residents of Reading. And we thank you for your protection and your care over us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if everyone would rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United
United
States of America,
States
and
of
to the
America,
republic
for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one nation,
One
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
visible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty and justice.
justice for all.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Here.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Here.
Mr. Marmaru,
Here.
Ms. Reed,
Here.
Ms. Sahelnick, Ms. Ventura,
Here.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Here.
6 present, 1 absent.
And I will mention that Lucine just has some minor health issues. I talked to her earlier today. She's okay, but we hope she heals up well. And we look forward to seeing her hopefully next week. Executive sessions regarding CBAs held prior to the June 1st special meeting and for quarterly litigation case update at the conclusion of the June 7th committee of the whole meeting were conducted as per the Sunshine Act, Title 65, Section 708, executive sessions A, 2, and 4. We have a distinguished proclamation this evening recognizing Princess Lovett as the Olivet Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. Has she been able to join us?
Yeah, Princess is on
Yes,
our
she's
Zoom
connected.
meeting.
Oh, Princess, good evening. Welcome. I'm going to turn it over to Councilwoman Marcia Goodman Hendershitz.
And Princess, if you could please unmute yourself so you can join us at the end of the commendation. Thank you. Okay, it is my pleasure on behalf of council on this Monday, June 14th, 2021, the city of Reading celebrates Princess Lovett being named Olivet's Boys and Girls Clubs of America Youth of the Year. Whereas the Olivet Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year is awarded to outstanding teen club members who embody healthy lifestyles, academic excellence, good character, and leadership. And whereas Ms. Lovett is a freshman at Reading High School and an Olivet member for 2 years, and whereas Ms. Lovett is a leader who has a passion to help others by mentoring, younger club members with virtual schoolwork and preparing emergency grab-and-go meals for families. And whereas Ms. Lovett is involved with the Girls Supporting Girls Voice Up program with the goal of advocating for free access of feminine products at school. And whereas Ms. Lovett is to attend Harvard University to earn a law degree to continue to her advocacy by working with those who have been mistreated by the criminal justice system. And now, therefore, the Council of the City of Reading commends as follows. The City of Reading urges all citizens to honor the commitment of Princess Lovett, who is devoted to the City of Reading and works to improve our neighborhoods and the quality of life for all citizens. Presented this day, attested to by Jeffrey Waltman, Council President. So Princess, we don't physically have this here to give you on the Zoom meeting. I will be bringing it down to the Boys and Girls Club sometime this week, but if you'd like to just share with council members what your project is and where you are in the process, because I believe you are the Pennsylvania Youth of the Year too.
Yes, I am the Pennsylvania Youth of the Year and also the Reading one. And tomorrow I go for the competition to become the regional Youth of the Year.
And could you speak at all about your project really briefly? Because this is fabulous, what you have been able to do in leadership in our city.
The Girls Supporting Girls Period project, we started as an after-school club, and our leaders got an office at the Goggle Works, and we started collecting female products, and we would collect them and baggage them ourselves and hand them out to places like women's shelters or prisons or places that need them, like the clubs. And we are still collecting them, and our group has grown, and we just wanted to educate people on it. So we talked to Judy Schwenk, and she helped us work out something with the law for that. And we're still working on it, and we're moving forward, and we're just hoping to get this topic for more people to understand it, because it's a topic not a lot of people feel comfortable talking about.
So I want to thank you and congratulate you. And I know that you serve as a model for leadership. So I guess give a round of applause. And we look forward to, I said to Princess, regardless of the outcome of the next level of competition, your leadership is really what's been winning for the city of Reading. So we look forward to hearing from you. And I will let my fellow council members know when we're going to be able to actually present the commendation in case any of you would like to join us at the Boys and Girls Club, the Pandora Park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And Princess, thank you. Good luck with everything. Thank you, Marcia, for the proclamation. That's real leadership. So thank you. We appreciate it. We're going to move on, everyone, to the, I didn't want to cut anybody off. Did anybody have any comments? I know a few of you may have comments. Let me step back before you go anywhere, Princess. Comments, Johanny, I know you have comments.
You're on mute, Johanny.
Congratulations, Princess. Thank you for being such a positive role model and an amazing leader. This is why I love our city, because of young people, like exemplary young people such as yourself. So keep up the great work. Keep on impacting our community. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
And I just wanted to make a comment. We do have Chris Winters, and I believe the club leader, Ms. Ware from Pandora Park, are also joining us for the Zoom meeting. So even though we can't see each other in person, they're here listening, and want to congratulate Princess the same. So thank you.
Yeah, would either one of them care to come in? It's certainly fine to do so.
Didn't see any comments. Okay.
All right. Well, Princess, good luck. Some people are natural leaders, so take it as far as you can. And I think leadership is how you look out for other people. To me, that's how you lead. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're going to move on to the approval. We're going to move on to public comment. We have 3 written comments this evening, and we have 1 live comment. Is that individual been able to join us, Linda?
No, he's not connected. And I did email him again.
All right, so I'm going to ask that Donna, since we don't have a live speaker, that you just read the written comments for us. If a live speaker happens to join us, we will go back and read the public comment guidelines.
So you don't want the public comment guidelines even?
No, you know how to filter them through. If you see anything that you shouldn't read, please don't.
Okay, just so we're following the right protocol.
Yep.
Okay, the first public comment written is from Jocelyn Young. These are her comments to us. Good evening, my name is Jocelyn Young and I'm a property consultant for GET Universal Services LLC. We are landlords in the city. This past Thursday, June 10th, 2021, I picked up a check from the Human Relations Office for rental utilities assistance for our tenants at 661 Gordon Street in the amount of $3,720.75. We had obtained a judgment against this tenant on January 13th, 2021 from Judge Robinson in the amount of $4,423.38. This judgment was submitted to the Human Relations Commission for the processing of the rentals/utilities assistance application for the aforementioned tenant, along with the other relevant paperwork. I am confused as to why the Community Development Office would arbitrarily modify the amount that was due us in the judgment. I had asked when I received the check as to the difference, and the Human Relations Office had no idea either. This judgment was from a legitimate district court in the Commonwealth and should be above reproach. I would like an answer as to why this change was made without any notification to the landlord. Also, what authority does community development have to make these arbitrary changes? As a point of interest, prior to the community development being involved around the 1st of 2021, Human Relations did a good job of processing these rental assistance claims with an area of problem. I look forward to your response, signed by Jocelyn Young, property consultant, GET Universal Services LLC. I apologize if I pronounced the name of the company wrong. The next comment is from Christopher Ellis, and the comment is follows as such, quote, I oppose any idea to install parking stalls in the city of Reading. We are not West Reading, a small borough of less than 5,000 people. This is a city where 90,000 live in less than 10 square miles. Parking is going to be a problem no matter what we do. We need long-term strategies to incentivize safer biking and cheaper transit options, not come down on people simply trying to park in their neighborhood. We need to advocate for more funding for BARDA. Installing parking stalls will be detrimental to all and will not, despite what the Reading Parking Authority says, somehow creating more parking for people. It will simply create more revenue for them at the expense of everyday residents who are struggling to get by. How about more angled parking, such as in South Philly? There's enough room on some streets to reconfigure them to allow for this. It also slows traffic and allows pedestrians more time to react to cars flying down neighborhood streets. We are not going to find our way to a better city. Stop creating new and exciting ways to find the residents of Reading. I trust council will vote the appropriate way on these measures. Thank you. Signed, Chris Ellis, 19th Street. And then we have District 2 resident Teresa Hartman submitted several complaints about properties in the 1300 block Fairview area, which will be turned into the administration through the prescribed process via Councilor Marcia Hintershitz, District 2. And that is it for written comments.
All right, thank you, Donna, for reading those comments. We're going to move on to the approval of our agenda and minutes. It includes the minutes from our May 24th regular meeting, the June 1st special meeting, and approving the summations of discussion from the May 24th and June 7th committee, the whole meetings, and the June 7th nomination committee meeting. It will also include the approval of our consent agenda legislation, which I'm going to read through quickly. The first item on the consent agenda is an award of contract for the demolition of 604 North 9th Street, 519 Cedar Street, 1103 Spruce Street, and 515 Wonder Street in Reading in the amount of $219,427 to Northeast Industrial Services Corp. The next item is a resolution authorizing the submission of a Plan Year 2021 Home Action Plan Amendment in the amount of $774,495.82 as follows. $588,000 will come from Plan Year 2021 Home Acquisition, Rehab, and Resale Project. $100,000 will come from the 2019 Home Acquisition, Rehabilitation, and Resale Project. And $86,495.82 will come from the Plan Year 2021 Home Program Income Funds. The next item under the consent agenda is a resolution authorizing the solicitor to execute forms accepting the repository bid submitted by the Berks County Tax Claim Office for the following properties: 523 Maple Street, 709 and 735A Neversink Alley, and denying the repository bid for 442 Rosenthal Street. The next item under the consent agenda is authorizing the mayor and controller to use the PennDOT Doc Grants online reporting system to file the required liquid fuels forms annually, including but not limited to the MS 965, MS 329, and MS 999 forms through the adoption of this resolution, which must be executed by a majority of council. And the next item on the consent agenda is authorizing the submission of an application for an RCAP funds grant in the amount of $4 million for the Alvernia University College Town Infrastructure and Renovation Project as required by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The final item under the consent agenda is a resolution authorizing the submission of the sewage planning module for 114 through 118 Belvedere Avenue. Those items are all part of the consent agenda and will stand as approved as part of the approval of the agenda and minutes. Is there any objection to the approval of our agenda and minutes and consent agenda items? Okay, if not, they stand as approved. We're going to move on now to our administrative report, and we'll welcome this evening the Honorable Managing Director, Abe Amoros. Good evening, Abe.
Good evening, and thank you, Council President. I really appreciate the opportunity to address council. I have a rather lengthy report, so I want everyone to have patience, and we'll get through this together. On May the 26th, the mayor visited and thanked all the workers who made 2 pothole blitzes in the city a tremendous success. We want to thank our partners at RAWA, UGI, the RPA, and of course, our own Public Works Department that played a key role in this. That same day, the mayor visited and presented a commendation to iLead Inc. For adult education for all their hard work and dedication to our community through their GED English second language and leadership training computer literacy program, and they offer so much more. On May the 28th, Mayor Moran visited Radio Talk host Mike Faust at WEEU to thank him for all of his contributions to the city of Reading in his 20 years as host. Mike, you will be missed. On May the 31st, the mayor attended a morning Memorial Day service at City Park, where he honored our fallen heroes and provided some very inspirational words for all of us to get along better as a community. On June 1st, the mayor was part of a celebration for Pride Month, where a flag raising event took place and where we honored, celebrated, and embraced our LGBTQ+ community and thanked them for all their positive contributions to Reading, Berks County, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. On June the 2nd, the mayor was happy to attend and support the young adults that graduated Reading High School's class of 2021. He was touched by their perseverance and commitment through such tough academic times, especially with COVID. On June the 2nd, the mayor was also asked to be the main speaker at the RAC GED graduation, where he shared his personal story and his achievements with the graduating class. He was humbled by the request and presented each of them a certificate of congratulations. On June the 3rd, the mayor was a guest speaker at the Teen Writing Club at the Doubletree, where he was inspired by the talent and inspiration of the young people in the city of Reading. He thanked all of his partners, including Francine Scaboria from Safe Berks, Berks Community Action Group, William M. Wilson from I'm So Reading, and the Doubletree for hosting them. And just last week, the mayor also hosted a luncheon for all of the generous contributors to the United Way campaign who were consistent in their contributions over the last year. And finally, under the mayor's report, I want to express the gratitude shown by members of council and the larger community. Last week, the mayor signed into executive order making Juneteenth an official city holiday that is consistent with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In 2019, Governor Wolf signed an executive order himself recognizing June 19, 1865 as the last time Union soldiers freed enslaved persons and notifying them that they were free 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. We want to thank our unions for agreeing to this holiday as well. It will be part of formal discussions moving forward and part of all collective bargaining agreements. We wish to thank them for that opportunity. At 2 o'clock on Friday, there will be a flag raising by the NAACP at City Hall at 2 p.m. and members of the public are welcome. Even though City Hall will be officially closed, we will welcome them to attend this ceremony. Moving along, under community development, the department has a final draft of the housing strategy study conducted by Hailstone Economics. I had the good fortune of meeting with the consultant of Hailstone several weeks ago. The study recommends establishing gateway facade improvement projects to increase awareness on the ongoing revitalization efforts in the city. The study also addresses necessary mechanisms through which blighted properties can be conveyed to the Reading Redevelopment Authority. The department also continues to attend bi-weekly meetings with the downtown coordinator, solid waste manager, zoning, and PMI divisions to collaboratively develop plans for increasing foot traffic in the commercial corridor. The interest of attracting small events should be coordinated and covered through multiple social media outlets. And the CD department, on behalf of the city administration, also attended an event organized by Fight Crime, Invest in Kids Association to increase awareness of lead poisoning in children in the city of Reading. 500 of our children have already been diagnosed with lead poisoning, and that number is too high. The average is 30%, and Reading is less than 19%, but yet one child is too many. Under finance, the department's information technology division will be launching its new Cisco licensing, which provides soft phone, desktop application, and also allows for home access, instant messaging, and video call services. This will take place in the next 2 weeks. The department also, the department's grants division also submitted to BCD, the Commonwealth Financing Authority Greenways, Trails, and Recreations Program grant for the Eggleman's Park Improvement Project. The request amount is $250,000, which represents the total project cost of $325,000. The required local match of $75,000 will be provided by the city's capital improvement program. Finance department is also preparing the city's required portion of the Pennsylvania RACB grant application for the Alvernia University College Town Infrastructure renovation project in the 400 block of 10th Street. Under the Human Relations Commission, we have 951 total rent utility assistance applications that were received. Progress is being made in terms of the checks that are being sent to the landlords. The Human Relations Commission hosted a meeting on the May 23rd with students and the principal of Reading Muhlenberg Career and Technology Center and city trades professionals, arborists, carpenters, electricians, masons, park laborers, and city garage technicians. The meeting allowed students to interact with trade professionals in their fields of study and was an extremely positive event. And the HRC is also co-sponsoring a do's and don'ts regarding landlord-tenant actions, which will take place on June the 23rd. The virtual event will include information on handling court appearances and discussing all that is available to landlords regarding financial assistance, mortgage eviction moratorium, and other related topics. Under Human Resources, we want to congratulate Holly Goldman, who was awarded the Patriotic Employer Award on May the 28th. The Reading Fire Department presented Holly the award on behalf of the Office of the United States Secretary of Defense, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. Congratulations to Holly. Under library, the Reading Public Library launched its participation in the Fine Tree Pilot Program on June the 1st. 7 other libraries in the county are also participating. This initiative allows for the elimination of fines on overdue items such as books, movies, music, and magazines returned 1 to 29 days after their due date. I think a lot of people are sighing relief. The public library also provided 7,666 Go Packs through its Reading Recreation Food distributions between May 2020 and April of 2021. The cost of $3 per pack, the cost to the library was $22,995. The number does not include Go Packs and family lit kits distributed to the library. So we want to thank them for their fabulous efforts. Under police, the Reading Police Department's Operation Ceasefire conducted 3 enforcement details in the last 2 weeks. 2 were Operation Nightlight details completed with the assistance of Berks County detectives and probation officers. 1-day patrol-based operation was also completed. The 3 details resulted in the following: 1 misdemeanor arrest, 2 summary arrests, 2 warrants served, 17 traffic citations, and 7 bar checks. So they were extraordinarily busy. The department is also working with the Reading Redevelopment Authority and Public Works to discuss enforcement efforts at Riverfront Park due to crowd size and noise and disorderly activity. The Deputy Chief, Javi Reese, is finalizing the planning and implementation of the city's Police Youth Academy and has a meeting scheduled with the Olivet Boys and Girls Club to discuss final details, and will also participate in the first police blacktop talks at City Park on June 12th. Actually, that was over the weekend from 2 to 4, so that took place, which is good. The police department will also be participating in National Night Out on August the 3rd. Planning is currently underway with more details to follow. And last and certainly not least, Public Works Department conducted its second pothole blitz on Wednesday and May the 26th. I covered that in the mayor's report, which is great. And Public Works is also happy to announce that Camp Lily Jolly is ready for use by the Easter Seals organization. And finally, folks, Public Works has resealed and painted the Reading Iron Playground blockhouse, which is good news for kids and their families this summer. Thank you, Council President. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, Abe, thank you. We'll start off with Donna. Go ahead, Donna.
Thank you for this comprehensive report. It's clear that the administration's on the move, and this is really good to see. Past years, we often have reports that were 2 sentences. Those were questionable, so we thank you. I would just ask respectfully, because we do have a good cooperation and good working relationship with the council and the mayor, that some of these events the mayor goes to, he is supported and joined by members of council. And I'm thinking the Pride event, the Teen Writers Group, among many others. It shows the community that it's a new day in Reading and that council and the mayor do cooperate. So I would appreciate in the future if any of us are joining him at an event that the acknowledgement's there, because it's not so much Jane Doe or Joe Schmo is there. It's the point that council and the mayor together are supporting the community. It's a show of unification and a show of support to our organizations. And I think that's really, really critical, because in the past couple of administrations, we didn't see that. And I think it's a breath of fresh air to the community to see that we are in this together. And we are from City Hall, from internally in City Hall, we truly are each other's neighbors in here. So we want to show the world that we want to take that forward. So respectfully, for those particular events that we jointly attend, if that could be acknowledged.
Certainly, it's not an unreasonable request, and we certainly welcome reciprocity in that regard. So
Yeah,
if council members
absolutely.
have
Absolutely.
events that they wish us to participate in, by all means.
I
Not
just
an
think it
unreasonable
shows the
request.
community it's a new day, and I think people are
Agreed.
encouraged by that.
Very
So
good.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Marcia.
Yes, and in that vein of collaboration, I would like to be able to thank the mayor and the managing director, the mayor in spirit, the managing director in person, for joining us at the Reading Pagoda on top of Mount Penn for the flag raising in commemoration of Flag Day. And indeed, that sense of goodwill has been spreading across my end of the city as I walk down Fairview Street, where you can see the flag proudly being flown. Got a lot of feedback from the neighbors who are all waiting for that to happen, and to be able to thank our partners. And I want to reach out to one of our members of our commission, Elta Jackson Henry, who sang the Star Spangled Banner in breathtaking voice. It was just incredible to have that happen on our mountain. And I think a good entry into this week where we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth, that we have that diversity coming up on the mountain. So I want to thank you. But behind the scenes, also Public Works who did everything they needed to do to get that facility ready. It was clean, did some other things that needed to be done to taking care of our beloved pagoda, but you can tell the whole team was there making that happen. So thank you.
Thank
On-
you.
Yeah, on another note, and I was woken up about 11 p.m. with the fire engines going up South 15th Street. I want to thank the fire department for responding to a fire on South 17th Street. And unfortunately, one of the homes, the individual did need to be taken to the hospital, but I believe was okay. But again, the quick work of our fire department, because whenever you have row homes that are on fire, it can really spread quickly. So I want to just do a shout out to the Reading Fire Department and anyone else that was involved, EMS, our police department, for containing that fire. Thank you.
And also thank you for Earth Day for all the work that our city folks
Right.
did to make that work. That was a really nice event. Shade Tree Commission, a variety of other folks from the city were there, and it was a great use of City Park. The park was beautiful, and I think there was much to glean from that. The people who attended really learned a lot, not only about the environment, but through historical tours about City Park and the importance of the different statuary and buildings up there.
All right, additional comments or questions, anyone? Okay, if not, we are good. Thank you, Abe, for the report. We are going to move on to the auditor's report. This evening, we have Carolyn Rodriguez, who's the city auditing coordinator, who will be presenting this evening's report. So Carolyn, good evening. And,
Good evening, thank you.
welcome, sure.
Okay, good evening, everyone. The city auditor's office has 3 items to cover. The first one is the business privilege tax. For the current year, fiscal year, the city budgeted $1,466,400 for the business privilege tax and business privilege tax prior. As of April 30th, 2021, the city has collected $904,994 $198 or 62% of the total revenue budgeted. Although $624,500 less was budgeted in revenue in 2021 compared with 2020, the city has collected $109,273.11, more this year than in 2020 for the same period of time. The second item is the user fees revenue collected as of April 30th, 2021. For the current fiscal year, the city budgeted $3,009,500 for the user fees revenue, which is the revenue collected for the EMS service that the city provides. As of April 30th, 2021, the city has received $1,138,438.40, or 38% of the total amount budgeted for this line item. If revenue for this item continues its current trend, there is a high probability that the user fees revenue will meet its budget target in 2021. The last item that we have is the fire escrow audit update. The city's auditor office has completed an audit of the fire escrow account for the fiscal year of 2020. A meeting with the administration and the law department would be scheduled to discuss the city's current liability for the fire escrow account. This audit will be distributed and presented to council once the city auditor meets with administration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn. We're going to open up the floor if anybody has any comments or questions at this time. All right, doesn't look like that. We thank you and Maria for the report, and thank you for filling in for Maria to provide us with the report. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is we have a report this evening from a board, authority, or commission. We happen to have with us the Historical Architectural Review Board, and we welcome Aaron Weller, who many of us know as the chairperson, and Amy Johnson, who is also our historic preservation specialist. Welcome, and the floor is yours, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the Historical Architecture Review Board, thank you for allowing Aaron Weller, the HARB chairperson, and myself to provide the HARB report to you this evening. To give you a little bit of background regarding or about the HARB, the Historic District Ordinance was adopted by City Council in 1978, and it is by this ordinance that the city's 4 historic districts and 1 conservation district were established. The districts are as follows. The Callow Hill Historic District was established in 1978. The Prince Historic District and Center Park Historic District were both established in 1982. Penn's Common was established in 2005, and the Heights Conservation District in 2012. The city also has a National Register district named the Queen Anne Historic District that was established in 2004, but it is not governed by the Historic District Ordinance. The ordinance also established the HARB, a board made up of 9 members, of which there are currently 4. Again, here, Aaron Weller is our chairperson. Nigel Walker is the vice chairperson. Aaron Booth holds the position of architect, and our newest member, Rick Politica, is a member having knowledge or interest in historic buildings and districts. In its review of projects located within the historic district boundaries, the HARB is guided by the Historic District Ordinance, the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation and guidelines for rehabilitating historic buildings, and various policies, which include a window policy, sign policy, fence policy, roof replacement guidelines, a satellite dish ordinance, and a financial hardship policy. In 2020, the HARB reviewed 77 cases for such projects as various building alterations and additions, solar panels, fences, signage, window replacement, roof replacement, handicap accessible ramps, art installations in downtown storefronts, in addition to the city park playground in order to provide an ADA specific play area for residents, and 2 emergency demolitions. Of the 77 projects reviewed, 71 projects were approved, 2 projects were tabled, and only 4 projects were denied. And of the projects that were denied, only 1 applicant appealed the HARB's decision to City Council. Now I will turn it over to Aaron, who will provide you with some more information on the HARB's activities over the past year.
Okay, thanks, Amy. So on behalf of the Historical Architectural Review Board, I would like to thank you for the opportunity that we have this evening to brief council. So these past 18 months have brought huge challenges to boards that are accustomed to interacting in person with applicants, particularly when plans, materials, and exhibits are integral to the application process. The HARB was able to quickly adjust to virtual meetings, and we very much appreciated the city's assistance in providing the platform to do so seamlessly. If I may boast for a minute, I think the HARB may have been the first board to hold meetings starting in April. And of course, we're very anxious and look forward to returning to in-person meetings just as soon as it's safe to do so. So the board reviewed some really exciting projects and very visible projects since our last council presentation, many of which are still underway. And here's just a few that I'm going to list. Alvernia University at 401 Penn Street, that of course everyone knows is the College Town project. And the HARB's been involved in signage and changes to the building facade. And of course, we're anxious to see how that project progresses. As well, the Berks Art Council Penn Street Art Installation Project brought lots of color and life to downtown storefronts, showcasing talented young student artists from our community. As well, Hamden Cemetery, excuse me, not cemetery, they won't like if I say that, Hamden Seminary, formerly the Calm Home at 1711 Hamden Boulevard for exterior changes, including some porch enclosures. As well, the Corbett Building at 147 North 5th Street for limestone facade restoration, and Christ Episcopal Church at 30 North 5th Street for repointing and repair of stone. And then of course, collectively and most importantly, all the property owners and residents of the historic districts that came before our board for application review. Along with these high profile projects and a renewed focus on home projects due to the pandemic come challenges with managing the ballooning number of violations and unfortunately the limited staff resources to manage them. The preservation office is an office of one. with Amy responsible for collectively, of course, not all at one time, but 3,375 properties located within the historic and conservation districts. And outside of supporting the HARB, also has duties as well. We currently have 30 active violations and many more that will come to her on a regular basis. She's really only able to prioritize the most visible and egregious violations, and sometimes having to combine resources with other departments when there are other outstanding property violations. It is really critical for the preservation of the city's historic buildings and neighborhoods that the Preservation Office have sufficient dedicated resources to keep up with demand and continue to support the board in their mission to uphold the City of Reading Historic District Ordinance. And in addition, like many city boards, as Amy mentioned earlier, we are operating with a very small board and have been for some time. Only 4 of the 9 seats are filled. I know many boards have experienced this as well. It does put a lot of pressure on all the board members to ensure they're available for all of our meetings so we can have a quorum and conduct business. We're always open to looking for new members who would qualify for the open board positions. I would ask that you think about residents in your districts that may have interest in serving. We'd love to talk to them and see what kind of opportunities would be available for them. So thank you again for this opportunity to come before you, and we as a board continue to look forward to serving the city in this very important work. So thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Erin and Amy. I will open the floor to any questions or comments. Johanny.
Thank you for the presentation. Did you say 303,000 properties? What was that?
3,375, I think, Amy, is that right? Almost 3,400 properties in total. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in order to provide the necessary support, like how many additional employees are we thinking would be the ideal to be able to carry out the functions of this department? Just curious.
I don't know, maybe a dozen or so, perhaps. No.
I was going to say 10.
See, there we go. And we didn't even exchange numbers, I promise you. Well, there's, I can't necessarily quantify that. I mean, Amy's responsibilities cover, there's administrative work as well. There's enforcement, there's support of the board. There's also, as I mentioned, lots of other projects such as supporting, let's say, the Penn Street Bridge restoration and things like that. And, but, Amy, I think you're probably in the best position, to be able to identify maybe some things that can be, that would make an immediate difference in freeing up some of your time. If that's admin work or something.
It's hard to put a number on it because I've been doing it myself for many, many years primarily. And through, over the years, I've lost administrative help. So I virtually do everything myself. I am getting a little bit more help through the zoning office, and we are working towards that end. So we just hired a part-time zoning clerk, but right now she's learning the zoning end of our office. So I haven't begun to work with her yet, but just, help with enforcement and having, more eyes on the street would help, and an inspector type person. I literally at this point, I would take one. So.
And then one last question, I promise. During the pandemic or since the pandemic, have you seen an increase or decrease in violations? Like, are you finding that people are becoming more educated on HARB requirements and do's and don'ts?
I've seen an increase in violations, quite honestly. And I think it's due to people being at home and just wanting to work on their homes. We've also, I think, recently had a glitch with our receiving information of new property owners. So my new property owner letters haven't gone out for quite a while. So I don't know what's going on there, but I was told that it was being fixed, but that's been a big help to alert property owners. But yeah, definitely there's been an increase in violations. There's been a decrease this year over last year in actual applications, but I think that's just due to COVID as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, additional questions or comments, Donna?
do the local realtors, as homes are being, or properties are being transferred one owner to the next, have they been cooperative in explaining historic district requirements? Has that been occurring? Is there any way we track that? Reach out to RBAR or to any of the realtors? I think that's absolutely critical when these homes are changing hands. You know, that be part of either the title process or something.
Oh, go.
Go ahead.
I'll say something. Yeah, I mean, I think one realtor at a time. I think there are some, and I think as opposed to many years ago, I think many people see the benefit that advertising and educating their potential buyers and sellers, for that matter, you know, in terms of saying that the property is in a historic district. I think there may still be some realtors that may shy away from it, but we did have a realtor on our board that, you know, we're really looking for a real estate broker. We feel like that's our kind of our lifeline to the real estate community. We're missing that right now, and the State Historic Preservation Office does require a broker, not just a realtor or an associate. So we've been actively looking for that. So I think that we've made slow progress over time, but I think that there are some realtors that, you know, find that to be a tremendous selling benefit, and others that don't. So I would say there's still work to be done. Amy, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Do you have formal connections with RBAR? That's what I'm asking. The Reading Berks Association of Realtors. Do you have the formal connection there? Have you
Right now,
John or anyone to come to your meetings?
We don't because we've lost our connection to with our real estate broker. We don't right now. No.
But I mean, you could still invite RBAR to come to have the government affairs guy, John Spahn, come to the meeting and ask him to attend one of your formal meetings, and then just reinforce that. I think that's really critical. I really do.
And I have done lunch and learns at RBAR and various other realtors office in conjunction with like the zoning and the code services office in the past, of course, before COVID, but that has been done.
Okay, additional comments or questions, anyone? All right, well, thank you, Aaron and Amy. Sometimes, you know, when these appeals come to us, sometimes they're the most contentious. I always, over the years, I've had some goings with Mike. Oh my God, I used to go 2-3 hours. But it's important for people, you know, when you move into a historic district, it's your responsibility to know what you can and cannot do. And if you don't, ask questions. There's plenty of resources to help. It's not a way to punish you. It's a way to help sustain and improve not only the value of your home, but of the neighborhood and the entire city. So when you drive into a city like Reading for the first time, people that come here for the first time go, wow, what is this stuff? It's important to preserve it. There's just value in it. So, all right. Thank you both. Appreciate the report.
You're welcome.
And,
Thank you.
for the continued great work. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. We're going to move on, council, now to our next item is ordinances for final passage. The first ordinance this evening is amending the City Code Chapter 576, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 503, clarifying that parking meter enforcement is exempted on Sundays, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. This was introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? This is really just aimed to formalize, you know, that there's no enforcement on these specific. If there are no comments, then can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Hintershit, seconded by Councilor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 43, 2021, which amends the vehicle and traffic section by clarifying that parking meter enforcement is exempted on Sundays and other major holidays. Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershit?
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru? Mr. Marmaru?
Hello, Strat? Strat, can you hear us? Let's give him a couple seconds. Strat? All right, Linda, proceed. We'll just have to put him as abstained at this point, and hopefully we'll hear from him on the next vote.
Strat, can you hear us?
You're on mute, Strat.
Okay. Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yeah.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
5 yeas, 1 disconnection.
All right. All right, we're going to proceed to the next vote. Let's see if we can get Strat on board. Here we go. The next ordinance is Bill number 44-2021, amending the City Code Chapter 576 Vehicles and Traffic, Part 13, Motorized Devices and All-Terrain Vehicles by modifying the enforcement process and adding due process and an appeals process, which will allow the police department to destroy the vehicles seized if necessary. This was introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? I will simply state this is an effort by the administration to strengthen the tools that the police have to enforce, the illegal use of motorcycles, mini bikes, and ATVs throughout the city. If there are no other comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Gibbon Hintershit, seconded by Councilor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 44, 2021, which amends the vehicle and traffic section. Oh, we did that one already. Sorry about that. Where am I? Oh, yeah. That amends the vehicle and traffic section by modifying the enforcement process and adding a due process and appeals process, which will allow the police department to destroy the vehicle seized when necessary. Ms. Goodman Hintershits,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru, Strat, can you hear us?
Strat?
Now I can. Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yeah.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
I'm sorry,
right.
Linda, I was muted there.
Okay.
That's okay.
The next ordinance is Bill number 45-2021, amending the City Code Chapter 23, Boards and Commissions, Part 23, Code and License Appeals Board by adding appeals to Chapter 576, Part 13, Motorized Devices and All-Terrain Vehicles, introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Reed, seconded by Councilor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 45, 2021, which amends the Code and License Appeals Board by adding appeals to Chapter 576, Motorized Devices and All-Terrain Vehicles. Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yeah.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershits,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
Okay, the next ordinance is Bill number 46-2021, amending the City Code Fee Schedule 212-144 by adding fees for the towing, relocation, and storage of ATVs and dirt bikes. This was introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? Again, this is another ordinance aimed at not only properly enforcing, but properly recording the charges relevant to the dealing of illegal dirt bikes and ATVs. If there are no other comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Marmarow, seconded by Counselor Reed, to enact Bill number 46, 2021, which adds fees for towing, relocation, and storage of ATVs and dirt bikes to the city's fee schedule. Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
The next ordinance is Bill number 47-2021, authorizing an appropriations transfer of $241,000 from General Fund Rental Parking Authority to Capital Fund Public Works Parks to enable the construction of the Canal Street Skate Park, introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Move to table.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there is no comment on a table motion. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Counselor Reed, to table Bill number 47, 2021. Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
Our next ordinance is Bill number 48-2021, restricting parking to maintain the requisite number of no parking signs along both sides of North 9th Street in the 11 and 1200 blocks. As depicted on the parking drawing titled Exhibit A, the purpose is to comply with the conditions of PennDOT Highway Occupancy Permit Application Number 238205 associated with the Marion Street Fire Station project. This was introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Move
Yes.
to table.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second, please?
Second.
All right, there's a motion to table on the table. There's no discussion on the table motion. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Counselor Ventura, to table Bill number 48, 2021. Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow,
No.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
5 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay. The final ordinance is 49-2021, authorizing the total appropriations transfer of $294,336.75 from General Fund Rental Parking Authority to General Fund part-time wages in order to increase base pay to $15 for most part-time staff. This was introduced at the May 24th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Motion to table?
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. It's a table motion. There's no discussion. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, to table Bill number 49, 2021. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow,
No.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
5 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, we have 4 ordinances for introduction this evening. I'm going to ask that Councilwoman Marcia Goodman Hintershitz to please read them onto the record.
Yes, sir. Okay. A, ordinance authorizing the administration to enter into a 1-year intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the Reading School District with the option for subsequent 1-year renewals at both parties' written agreement regarding the collection, transportation, and processing of various recyclable items generated from the Reading School District effective July 1st, 2021. B, ordinance authorizing a budget transfer within the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $332,700 for employee training and develop operational support tools and manual for optimization of new treatment plant processes and funds to provide operational support and guidance related to correct process control and upsets. C, ordinance setting the salary of the solicitor at $97,375 per annum, payable in equal bi-monthly installations or as otherwise provided by ordinance. And D, ordinance authorizing the budget transfer of $260,000 from the 2021 Capital Public Works Pagoda Wall Repair to Capital Public Work Garage for a garage, Class 8 and fire truck lifts and permanent hot water steam cleaning machine, HOTC, allowing the replacement of a Class 8 lift and permanent steam cleaning machine, HOTC, for the garage fleet maintenance public works.
Okay, thank you, Marcia. We're going to move on here to resolutions. And the first resolution is authorizing the submission of a PennDOT permit application for driveways, warning sign devices, parking restrictions, and similar features, and related PennDOT forms to secure a permit for the 9th and Marion Fire Station. Is there a motion for this resolution?
So moved.
Is there another motion?
Motion to table?
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to table. Again, this is a table motion, so there's no discussion. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Councilor Goodman Hendershitz to table Resolution 60, 2021. Mr. Marmaru,
I thought I made a resolution to pass it.
He did move, he didn't get a second.
I didn't even hear her resolution.
Strat, there's a motion to table the resolution on the table. We need your vote, yes or no.
No.
What was that?
No.
Okay.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
5 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, the final resolution this evening is appointing Samantha Martinez Escobar to the Youth Commission representing District 2. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved.
Oh, sorry.
It's been properly moved and seconded, kind of both at the same time. So comments, anyone?
Is that me?
Strat, yep, you have any comments?
Yes, I think we're getting a fine person that's been involved with youth. And I think Marcia should make a comment concerning this individual who I believe she knows from out in your district. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct. And Samantha is another outstanding young woman from District 2. I know we have great leadership throughout the city, but she's coming forward to serve on the Youth Commission and really understands what the needs are and is really willing to take on many projects and work together with her fellow commission members. So I'm really proud to support her appointment.
Okay, any additional comments, please? If not, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Hendershitz, seconded by Councilor Marmaru to adopt Resolution 61, 2021, which appoints Samantha Martinez Escobar to the Youth Commission representing District 2. Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
Okay, that brings us to our final order of the business this evening, and that is council comments or administrative comments. If anyone has anything pressing to share, I will open up the floor. Who would like to go first, please? Donna?
Just want to thank Council President. Thank you, Jeff, for last Tuesday for attending a nice volunteer celebration at Hope Lutheran Church for the food distribution volunteers out there. That particular site at Front and Greenwich Street has distributed more food during the pandemic than any other site within the Helping Harvest service area, which includes Berks and Schuylkill counties. So thank you. Thank you to the volunteers out there. Thank you to Pastor Mary Wolf and her husband and her daughter who all work together and work so beautifully with that group. William Johnson, who is a member or resident in the Great Fifth District, for his outstanding work there. It really is it's a labor of love, and it's a true show of devotion to your fellow human beings at a time of crisis when you're willing to come out there, especially in the early days of the pandemic when people didn't know how seriously and how quickly the corona might spread, that these folks were diligent, devoted to being out there week after week to distribute food to their fellow Reading ones. So it was a proud day. I was sorry I had to miss it. I was attending a family funeral at Fort Town Gap that day. Jeff, thank you. And interestingly enough, Council President, is your great grandmother was a founding member of Hope Lutheran Church. So Jeff's connections there are really visceral. And thank you, Jeff, for doing that.
Well, thank you. Before you go on, not only that, I went to Cub Scouts there, but I was in the choir there for less than an hour.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I don't know why. I have no idea why, but they said
You're not singing to us anymore, Jeff, which is
they
good.
said it was filled up or something. I don't know. But I just wanted to touch on that because I showed up there that day. I was tired, and man, I met those people who had been there since 7 a.m. Some of them are seniors, by the way, many of them. And I listened to what's his name explain how they were the #1 site out of 320 sites handing out food.
Jay Worrell, yeah.
Jay, through the pandemic. And I'm thinking to myself, and then I told him a little bit about my story growing up in the neighborhood, being poor, all that. But I thought, these are the people getting the work done. That's why I told him, forget the crap that we do fighting over silly ordinances. And I mean, they're out there week in, week out. I mean, it was hot. I mean, these people, and I was just humbled. I thought, man, they are, and there's some people that take advantage of those programs, but there's a lot of people who don't. And there's people who really need that food. Mm-hmm. I know, when I was a child, the little bit went a long way. I mean, I could tell you stories, you wouldn't even believe them, but I know what that meant to a lot of people during the pandemic, so they did it. They do a great job. So it was my honor to be there. I thought, geez, it changed my whole day. I was like, wow, woke me up, reminded me of why we're here. You know what I mean? To serve them. We're here to serve them. They're out there serving everybody else. We got the easy job compared to some of these people. And you mentioned the one gentleman's name, but yeah, thanks to all them and Pastor
Mr. Johnson and Pastor Wolf.
Yeah, Pastor Wolf. I mean, just Jesus, Lord. Yeah. I was also married in that church too, by the way. So I have a lot of history. My great grandmother was a founding member. Yeah. She was as Lutheran
Very cool.
Yeah, as Lutheran as you could get. I wish I still had the bookcases full of German Bibles, but I don't. So anyway, so thank you, Donna, for letting me do that. Additional.
Thank you. Thank you.
Additional comments, anyway. Marcia, and then Johanny.
Yeah, and I want to start on something that's a little bit concerning, but I hope that this information gets out to the general public. Recently, on Muhlenberg Street in my district, some of the neighbors felt compelled to be able to open the fire hydrant on their own and did it on 3 different occasions, even though Public Works came out, the fire department came out, and it was closed until I became aware that the last time they actually became threatening to the Rawa employees. I just think it's really important for the public to be educated that even though if they lived in another urban area like New York City where that's done routinely, our system is a lot different. We don't have the mains that are big enough to be able to sustain water. And even though there were Wacky Water Wednesdays sponsored last year by the Recreation Commission, they were done under the supervision of RAWA and the fire department. And so we need to get the word out, and I want to pass that on to my fellow counselors, because it may also happen in your district, that we need to be able to do this in a respectful way, that if indeed you open the hydrants up and they drain the water supply and there's a fire, you could lose a whole city block. What I felt disconcerting is some of the neighbors were so disrespectful that they were threatening to the public officials that were coming down there to address the problem. So I would be asking the administration to give some guidance on how we can prevent this from happening. It gets hot and people do want to be refreshed, but it obviously is very dangerous practice. So that was on the downside. The good side is that I've been noticing a lot of people taking care of their properties, planting gardens, remodeling, doing a lot of great work. And some of the older homes are being really well taken care of. And I just want to commend the folks in District 2 for doing that and just really trying to be respectful, so that I think we have a lot of synergy happening. We just need to keep on building on the neighborhood. And again, thanking all those folks that participated in the Flag Day ceremony. And just to let you know, we are planning some other events on the mountain, but the one coming up in the next 2 weeks on June 24th and 25th is the Pagoda Hill Climb up Drury Drive with the Blue Mountain Racing Club. So the city has permitted that activity. Thank you very much, administration. And I hope to be able to see you all. If you haven't seen the hill climb and haven't experienced it, it really is something very commendable. And the fact is, one of the first cars that was tested for a combustible engine was raced in Reading up Drury Drive, a little piece of history. So thank you.
All right, additional comments or questions, anyone? Johanny?
So first, I want to thank the administration, the city, and our community. I mean, while we all have issues, right? But I appreciate hearing about all the activities, the engagement in our community, and the positive highlights, because we don't often read about those, right? So thank you for the work that everyone's doing collectively and creating positive impact throughout our city. Then I have some announcements to make about activities up and coming for this week. So the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance, in collaboration and conjunction with the Reading, with the Berks Realtor Association and the City of Reading, they are hosting a downtown tour, a downtown Reading business and investment property tour. I know that you have to register for this event and the online registration is closed. However, there are virtual tour opportunities. So please, if you are interested in virtually touring a lot of the buildings that are available, the commercial investment properties available, please reach out to the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. You can visit their website at greaterreadingchamber.org, or you can call 610-376-6766. We want to get the word out to as many as possible because the City of Reading is open for business, right? Also, the Goggle Works, in partnership with the Elks Lodge, on Friday, let me backtrack. Friday, June 18th, in honor of Juneteenth, there's a free online event hosted by our sister Elta Jackson and the Seventh-day Adventist Church. If you want more information, sign up on Facebook. That is Friday, June 18th at 6 p.m. It's an online event, so feel free to tune in. It's free to the public. On Saturday, June 19th, both the Elks Lodge as well as Goggle Works, they are hosting a family barbecue in honor of Juneteenth. And also the Goggle Works has been partnering with Pride for Pride Month. They've actually been hosting drive-in films. So for those of you that say, oh, there's nothing to do in Ready, there is plenty to do in our community. So you can actually drive in and watch a film at one of their lots, the one with the gravel, or you can just pull up your lawn chair and tune in and watch the movie. I want to thank the mayor for declaring Juneteenth as a city holiday. We have lots to celebrate in our community. I also want to remind our community that every Thursday, there's a Penn Street Market that takes place in the courtyard at 638 Penn Street. So every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2, and this will be ongoing up until September. I forget which day it concludes. But again, we have tons of things to do in our community in a safe manner. So please take advantage of all the our assets, right? And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in and for everyone who's part of this great movement in our city.
Johanny, I just wanted to add something which I'm sure you're going to share with me, is how beautifully landscaped. It's part of your district, part of mine, part of Councilor Sahonik's, but the gardens, the planters, everything's just really thriving. Downtown looks really clean. So I just am enjoying being downtown again, walking through and seeing, how the things that we wanted to have happen are starting to show through.
Same here, and I also have witnessed, there's more collaborations taking place, community organizations partnering. I wanted to also make note that Goggleworks is also partnering with Lowers Park, so they're going to be working on their gardens and farming and potentially creating opportunities for young people to, plant, cultivate, and also learn how to cook what they cultivate and maybe learn a new trade or business. So stay tuned. There's lots happening in our community. I love that we persevere regardless.
Right.
All right. Are there any additional comments at this time? Okay. If not, I'm just real quickly going to go over the meeting schedule and.
Donna has a comment.
Go ahead, Donna.
Just one other thing, and I had almost forgotten this. Johanny, this is your district, but I'll just mention it. Center Park is having, in collaboration with the LGBT Center, is hosting a COVID-19 vaccination clinic, and that is going to be, if I can pull this up here, it is June 18th from 4 to 8 in Center Park. So you can register, or I believe you can walk up. So for those who haven't been vaccinated, here's an opportunity. Again, June 18th, 4 to 8 p.m. in Center Park itself.
Okay, so our meeting schedule is as follows. Next Monday, the 21st, there's a nomination and appointments committee meeting at 4 o'clock, followed by a committee of the whole meeting at 5 o'clock. On June 28th, we will have the committee of the whole meeting at 5 o'clock, followed by our next regular meeting immediately following that meeting. City Hall is closed July 5th, and we'll regroup on July 6th for committee of the whole meeting. If there is no other order of business this evening, I simply need a motion to adjourn.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy
Good night,
Juneteenth.
everybody.
See you there.